What's going on, guys? It's your boy Chris, or COIBTV, or Cinnamon. Well, whatever you guys want to call me. But it's been a while, quite a while, since I've done any type of content, any videos, the pod. Yeah, but um, yeah, I'm here. After the last year that we've had, the beginning of this year that I've had, I'm back. I'm back to talk about probably one of the things that mean the most to me, and that's Everton. Everton Football Club. So, with the season starting just well, technically Friday, Arsenal play. I believe I can't remember who they play, but the season officially starting Friday for us Saturday. I thought I would just probably just give my opinion on how I think the season's gonna line up, what I think about Rafa, how I think he's gonna do. Um, at the time of filming this video, it's Wednesday, August 11th, I believe. We haven't signed a right back. We've been linked for the last few months with Dumfries and as of yesterday, I think, or Sunday, Aurelia Buta, um, Max Aarons from way back. We haven't signed one yet. We've seen a bit of John Joe Kenny over preseason. Um, I think the state of John Joe Kenny is still about the same. Um, I think we should give him a go. I feel like we probably will if we can't bring anybody in before the window closes in terms of right back. Um, and see how he does. Maybe under Rafa, it's a little different. He hasn't really played with us since probably last summer. Over preseason. So yeah, I think we should give him a go. But I also want to give my opinions on the signings we've made so far. With Andros Townsend and Asmir Begovic and Damari Gray, who I think looks pretty sharp, looks pretty good. I think he'll do pretty well for us throughout the season. But one thing I always hate doing is building too much of an opinion before the season really starts. So yeah, let's start with Rafa. Building up to us signing and bringing in Rafa, there's been a lot of fans that are just so against it, against him signing. I mean, I think he wasn't my choice, you know. And Carlo leaving. I mean, even though us as fans probably didn't know much about it, I'm sure the board, Mashiri, and Brands, they all knew about it. But from what it seems like, it threw everybody through a loop. Excuse me. Um, he wasn't my choice, but I think he was probably the best choice. Um, as most of you have probably been hearing, and I agree. I think he is one of the best for our club. He suits us. He drills his methods and his tactics into his players, and we need a bit of that. I think with Carlo Ancelotti, he was maybe a little too easygoing. He got us playing pretty well, and maybe if we had a fit squad throughout the whole season, we would have probably ended up in Europe. But I think he would have left either way. From what it seems like, he already knew of the move for a while, and that's how he was able to build his decision. But I think that Rafa, he'll do well. We have to back him because we know hasn't won really much in the last couple of years, but he's he's got his trophies, he's got his honors. Um, I think most of this is probably just the Liverpool connection, but it is what it is. We just kind of have to move past that. He's our coach, and from what's being said around from the players, from training and stuff, they all seem to like how he coaches and likes that he gets the finer details. Um, he's very he's definitely not something we've had in a while. And like I said, I think these players do need a bit of drilling. They defensively, he likes to set up his teams pretty defensively, and we could probably use that. We have great defenders, and with what we've seen from Ben Godfrey over the last season, this Carlo Rafa Benitez might be good for him. You know, he's young, he's great. You know, he's fast. He gets back pretty well, gets back well. He probably needs a little bit of work on his defensive side, but I think he's got a platform to really become something great. And Yerry Mina, I mean, minus his injuries, he's probably one of the better center backs we have, if not the best overall. You know, his skill. He's great on the ball. He has a bit of a passing range. So if he could stay fit, he'd be great. And you know, we still have somebody solid like Michael Keane. I mean, he's had his mistakes and his problems, but he's still one of the better center backs. Probably maybe number two behind Yeri, or three behind Ben. But he's great. He's still a great center back, very solid. He's almost 30. He might be 28 now. So he's getting to that point. We're probably not going to see too much more from him in terms of like growth. But yeah, no, I think he's still great, and we've seen him pass. He could pass from the back, Michael Keane. So I think in terms of our defenders, you know, we're pretty good there. In terms of our center backs, Mason Holgate. I mean, I want to see more from him. He had a little bit of a slump this past season, but yeah, I mean, we at one point we were saying that he was probably our best center back, and we know that he could play in the midfield, which is still something I would like to see. I mean, we have a good amount of defensive midfielders now, and we can hope that John Philippe Gbamin actually, you know, can stay healthy, stay fit, and really show what he can do. You know, why we brought him in, why he was so good in Germany. So you know, I think we have a pretty good foundation in terms of a team, and I think that Rafa can really bring us into Europe. I know that's something we as fans always say, we always hope for, but I think he's gonna get something out of this team that we haven't seen for a while. Maybe a bit of edge, a bit of bite, which is what we need. So I think he'll do fine. And now moving on to the transfers and just connecting to what I was saying, I think with these new additions that add a bit of stability into the team, I think we can definitely challenge for Europa for sure. We are there's no way we're gonna finish lower than 10th. I hope we finish like 6, maybe 7. You know that. I mean, we could even push for 5th. I think we just have to be healthy, but I think what we brought in, I think Andros Townsend, he could be a bit. I don't want to say hit or miss, but he can be pretty. He's been pretty consistent for Palace. We know he can shoot, you know, from range, and he likes to take on a challenge. He likes to challenge players. He likes to take them on one. He likes to try to get past them, and I think that you know that's something we can definitely use. Now, I mean, yeah, he's maybe 30, so you know it's a little odd, but I think I'm not really sure if he would start either, but yeah, I mean, he definitely brings experience, and I don't see him anything like Theo Walcott at all. I think he'll definitely be better than that. um, but I don't know. I don't wanna hope too much from him, um, because you know then that's how you get your feelings hurt. But I think he'll be great. I think I'm excited for him. Um, on the flip side, we have Demar Gray, who over the last few seasons hasn't really. found his feet since Birmingham, but I think I think his pace will definitely be something for us to consider, something we have to really think about, because we we tend not to have the fastest of players. Um, not over the last few years. I mean, we know that Dom has speed to him. We know Richie has a bit of speed to him, but Damari Gray has raw speed and pace, and definitely has some decent feet too. So I think, and what I've seen from him in preseason so far is him kind of showing that little edge that he showed that he had at Leicester, at Birmingham. I haven't really. I don't know how his season went at Leverkusen. I know it wasn't the best, and he he has a bit of a scoring drought, which is one of the things that I think most fans are so against. Um, Along with the fact that he hasn't really shown for the last few seasons, but I think, and we know, for us, it's about getting Dom as much support as possible. You can see that with them bringing in Andros Townsend, who always, I mean, think about who he had playing as a center forward. He had Benteke, massive. Uh, Even Bashuai, massive. These tall players who we know are aerial threat. Dom is probably the best header at the ball right now. Um, I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody better, really. I mean, maybe besides Cristiano Ronaldo, he has that type of jump, that type of vertical. He's insane in the air. So we can hope that we'll see a lot of decent crosses to him, and Damari Gray has pretty good delivery. Um, and one thing I'm interested in is if we're going to see him in the number 10 role. I mean, if we're thinking of what we have now, it almost looks like we're going to be running like a 4-2-3-1. So if we think what we have now, maybe Damari at the 10 behind Dom, Richie out on the left, and Andros out on the right. With probably, we'll say maybe Abdu and Alan as the holding mids. Probably swapping it out with Tom and John Philippe Gubauman as well. Um, but if you think of what we have right there behind Dom, that's a lot of service that we could be bringing into him. Because we know that him and Richie link up well. We'll see Richie probably right up there next to him. Trying to get his goals, because he's had a pretty great preseason. With Brazil, um, they went all the way, and I hope that that form can carry way into the season for us, because we did miss Richarlison's goals a bit last season. Um, he just seemed so isolated, so outside of the game. He just couldn't really pull it together. But I hope that this form that he's had leaks into the season for us, especially in the beginning, for an early push, and maybe build up enough points before the insane December that we're gonna have, the insane holiday season we're gonna have. We need to start really strong, and we did last season, but we need to start really strong and really keep pushing. Now, uh, Asmir Begovic, I don't really have much to say. I mean, he's been around. He's a very experienced goalkeeper, and I mean he. I don't know if we're gonna see much of him. I mean, I hope that Pickford's form as well drags into the season. I mean, I don't know how much of that display against Man U we can put on him, but yeah. But yeah, Begovic is an experienced keeper, and I'm sure we'll see some of him, especially in the cups and stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure. Um, so yeah, and then we can hope we bring in a right back. I don't know much about Aurelio Buta, but he's young. I think he's like 22 maybe. Um, sounds like he's a pretty decent player. Very attacking, but we'll see. I mean, Dumfries is probably the ideal pick because he has that bit more experience. He plays for PSV, I believe. Yeah. um, and captain of the team. Experience. If he's gonna be replacing Seamus Coleman, that kind of works. Not that he will probably be first choice off the bat, but I'm sure maybe he'll probably go to Lucas. Um, but yeah, I mean he seems to be the most ideal. Great going forward, very solid defensively. So we'll see. Um, so overall, I really hope that we start off the season strong. I hope that we push, right up into the holiday season. Um, uh, I guess just a quick on like the rumors of outgoings. James. Um, I don't think we. The problem is we can't spend, right? I mean that's we talk about all these transfers, but we really can't spend. Hamas will bring in a good amount of money, free up a pretty fat amount of wages. So there's that upside, but we can use him if he's healthy. And he keeps going. He can thread the ball through the eye of a needle. Phenomenal passer, phenomenal flair. He doesn't do that much of the defensive work, so that's probably maybe why Rafa doesn't think he's useful to him because he wants us to have to defend. We have to defend. We have to be very solid defensively, and he doesn't really do that so well. But the upside is all the just that bit of magic that he brings that we really can't we don't really have anywhere else. I mean, Bernard, I mean, we let him go and he was kind of, he had that bit. But yeah, I mean, I think there's too much upside for us to let him go, but if we needed funds, then we have to do it. And then as well as Moise Keane, I'm one for us keeping him around, if we could, because he's. I still think that there's that bit of potential. There's something in him that he can bring, and he can, score 10 plus goals if he gets his opportunities. And he looked fairly sharp in preseason. I think he can definitely add to the goals, and between him, Dom and Richie, that could be 30 plus goals right there. Maybe Dom scoring the majority of that, but between the three of them, we could have probably 40 goals out of them. Out of the three of them, it, more than that even possibly. But I mean, it's fitting him in, and the fact that he doesn't seem like he wants to be around. He doesn't seem like he wants to be here. So we can't force him to stay. And if the money comes calling, cash is king. We will definitely offload him. And as of today, he's wiped his Instagram clean. Nothing PSG related. Um, Nothing Everton related. Nothing. And on his Instagram story, it says back soon. And on top of that, rumors of Mino Raiola trying to get him a move to Inter. If Inter comes bringing the cash because they just lost Rom, um, we'll sell him. We'll take that. We'll invest into a right back and maybe another central mid. I think we can use another central midfielder. You know, Priority is right back. In terms of center mid, somebody carrying that could carry the ball, burst forward, break the lines and dish off a nice pass or take it on for themselves. Um, we have Abdoulaye Decore who can do that very well, but we need a bit something else. Something a little bit more magical, especially if we're gonna lose James Rodriguez. Um, and then maybe a striker. Somebody who doesn't mind coming on, rotating. Because if we're gonna be playing a majority of our goal scorers, we need somebody who can probably come off the bench. I don't think Moise Keane would be willing to do that, so I don't know. But yeah, that's really it. Uh, if I'm going to give an unnecessary prediction of where we will finish, I'll say we'll finish a solid six. Top four: Chelsea, City, Man U, Liverpool, uh, Leicester probably five, us six, Spurs seven, especially if they lose Harry Kane. But uh, everybody below us is going to be pushing us, so that's why we need to be sharp. We need to be on it. We need to just try to be as consistent as possible. Rotate the squad if we need to preserve injuries, or keep our players preserved so they don't get injured. So it's gonna be a tough season though, because we seen the uprise of Leeds, Villa, Arsenal's making moves. They, especially the last few seasons, they've been direct rivals. We see West Ham, not that they'll do too much in Europe, but they're always a problem for us. Spurs, and then Leicester above us, and then whoever else decides to join the best of the rest pack. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be a tough season. And we'll just see how it goes. All we can do is hope for a push and for the best from our squad. It's hard being an Everton fan, but you gotta love them. All right, so that's my first video in probably 2+ years. But yeah, we'll see what happens Saturday. Up the fucking Toffees. Come on, you Blues. See you guys later. Peace.